The rooms of all the characters of the amazing digital circus are already known. Even I didn't think that the authors would post such spoilers. It turns out that they decided to show us all the rooms. Surprisingly. Hello everyone. Digital Circus Theory is with you, and today we will discuss a very exciting topic. Subscribe to the channel, like it, and finally click on this bell. And we're starting. Each room can talk about what a particular character is like. Perhaps this will give us some details about his character and perhaps about the structure of his body. Do you remember those Bubble and Pomni pins in the announcement for the second episode? There are the same pins with the rest of the characters. They're models against the background of the bed, bedside tables, and everything that could be in their rooms. It is not difficult to guess what the authors wanted to tell us with this. So, the first room that was opened for us for the first time and shown in full, the Kaufmo Clown. As a character, he did not appear, but only as mentions, and we can only imagine this room without these crazy inscriptions, although even without them, it looks kind of gloomy, creepy, dark, as if it says everything about the state of the clown's soul. It's not for nothing that she has such coloring. And what do we have in the other rooms? Feel like Jax, who stole the keys to their rooms from all the heroes. We all saw the Pomni room in the second episode, although it became known about it long before its announcement. Sometime on New Year's Eve, a sleeping Pomni was posted on the Walkie Watch website on her bed. According to the color of her clothes, this is about how we imagined her room, the same colors. And here you are, the Pomni room matches the image on the pin. The same crib, the same colors, wardrobe, curtains, mirror, some scattered toys, cubes, a small glove compartment like in the head of Pomni. And there is another interesting detail. This is a spare hood. Why it is needed is unclear. It even seems to be smaller than her head. Perhaps it's just an ordinary detail that decorates the room and nothing more. If Remember and knows how to change caps, then she obviously won't wear such a small one. Someone might have noticed another word from the letters that are depicted on the cube's back. This may also indicate that Pomni wants to return. It's a funny remark, but there is another letter O, and which word of them can be made that will pull on a reference or Easter egg? I don't know. Figure it out for yourself and write your version in the comments, what it may mean, or it may not mean anything, especially since she has a whole alphabet of these cubes. And there are also some paintings, but they are in the hallway, and so far I would not look for meaning in them. Another more familiar room is the Gangle. We didn't see her anywhere in any of the episodes. Even in some announcements it was not shown, but the authors posted it to us even with the release of the pilot. The pin shows a little more, maybe it's the other side of it, or the merged picture was incomplete, or the first option that had to be abandoned, but neither Glitch nor Gooseworks wrote anything like that. And the first image tells us a lot more about Gangle than we learned about it from the series itself, and a little from the author. We are aware that Gangle has a lot of comedy masks, and she constantly breaks them, because the comedy mask is the most fragile, and for good reason. This clearly indicates the character of Gangle. She herself is as fragile as her mask. In the second picture, there is a bed and a nightlight. The room looks more presentable, and no longer like some kind of unfinished location. There is a table or an ottoman next to it. The room is a little gloomy, darkish, and a little like an old castle. Gangle's appearance can also be a reference to the distant past, because such masks were performed in ancient Greece, in the theater, and later it became its symbol. It seems to me that the room is quite cozy. At least we don't see the mess that Pomni has in the room, no scattered cubes and toys. The main thing is that there are no broken masks in this room. Well, pay attention. The room itself also seems to be made to match the colors of the Gangle model. A little white is missing. The gray color is like the state of her soul. But at Zooble, everything is filled with bright colors. Although we did not see her room, we knew a little information about that very box with her body parts. She changes them sometimes. And here is the same Zooble's box. That is, this box belongs to Zooble, although the word Zoobles may have a different meaning, since there is no sign between its name and C. The meaning is completely different. It turns out that this is not a Zooble box, but teeth in the box, that is, a lot of Zooble. You can see her arms and legs, and even, in my opinion, her eyes. Perhaps there is some kind of allegory hidden here that Zooble changes her personality along with her appearance, since she herself does not know who she is. And her bed is cool, at least a part of it. The design of the wall and floor is also cool. And Regatha, as the most diligent girl, has everything in light pink colors, books on her shelf. A well-read girl, and on the last shelf, there is a rather curious detail. These are balls of thread and knitting needles, and the colors of the balls match the colors of her model. Does she hem herself from time to time? Judging by her bookmarks, yes, but this is a digital circus, especially since she was already pierced in front of our eyes, and she didn't need to sew herself up. Everything repaired itself, so I think it's not a box with things or body parts at Zubul, but just a decorative item. But you probably stared at the third shelf, some kind of jar, maybe with jam and a reference to Gooseworks, that is, to her avatar. Oddly enough, it's a piano. I even wanted to see it in the series, how Regatha plays her piano in her room, while apparently she is sitting on a toy box. It probably says toys here. And what about the boys, Jax? The contents of his room were not shown on the pin, in fragments. Perhaps something can be seen in the background, although most likely it is emptiness, and Jax is just lying, resting against the background of the door with his image. And what's inside? A bowling ball? No. Still, I have a feeling that Jax really stole everyone's room keys, decided to show them, but he doesn't want his own. Okay, I have some suggestions that the bowling ball is here for a reason. Well, Jax's physique is quite interesting. Is he an athlete? And during his lifetime, he was fond of either basketball, bowling, or something else. Well, he kind of liked bowling the most. I've even heard something about rabbit bowling. This is probably when rabbits run to the bowling pins and knock them down. And, by the way, in some games you can also notice a rabbit with a bowling symbol. In FNAF Security Breach, this is Bonnie, so I wouldn't be surprised that he has long bowling alleys there, but I would also add such a basketball hoop to his room. I really want to see this in the design of his room. Then we move on to the Kinger room. Here I was disappointed because it's not that Kinger is not in the background of his room. He doesn't understand where at all, and it's clear that this is not his room, but a tent and Kinger himself in an impregnable fortress of pillows, which he can create literally anywhere and hide there. But where is his room? Well, aren't we going to Kinger's for tea? Oh, it's a pity. It can be assumed that his room looks like a royal mansion. Everything looks so expensive, but my indignation may be in vain. And perhaps I'm wrong, because who is the Kinger? This is a chess piece, and the floor in his room too, maybe like a chessboard, even if the floor in the tent itself is exactly the same, and this may well turn out to be his room. A checkerboard floor and a pillow fortress. Everything else Kinger needs for happiness. Maybe even a collection of insects, but we still have to find out about this mystery. And which room did you like the most? Which one would you like to live in? Write in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click on the bell so that you don't miss new videos.